Well, hi, and Merry Christmas Eve. My name's Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Special guest coming up in the studio today. We caught up with Luke Peterson, the activities director at Thomas Jefferson High School. Did you hear TJ's got a new football coach? Yep. We're going to talk about that, talk about some of the other exciting things that are happening at TJ, and also about a renewed spirit that is going on in the hallways. And it's a great conversation, and we even talk a little bit about Luke's podcast that he has too that is gaining a lot of traction. So he hasn't asked me to be a guest on it yet. I'm still waiting, but he's a guest on mine today. Luke Peterson, activities director at TJ, will be the guest on Morning Coffee. Good morning start with peace of mind, and at My Nurse Healthcare, they provide professional in-home support where it matters most, helping individuals maintain comfort, dignity, and independence in their daily lives. Their experienced nursing team focuses on personalized care, clear communication, and supporting families through every step of the process. It is healthcare built on trust, compassion, and real relationships. Learn more about My Nurse Healthcare and their services on their website, mynursehealthcare.com. Morning Coffee, supported by Bryce Taylor and GLI Insurance Group right here in Southwest Iowa. December, with the holidays kicking in, it's also when winter really can show up with dead batteries, icy driveways, and all the good stuff. Bryce and his team live right here in the same communities they insure, and they're ready to help you make sure your home, car, and family are protected as we head into the heart of winter. That's GLI Insurance Group. Local people, local service all season long. And Service Master Restore by Schmader knows it can be hard to get back to normal when you've suffered serious property damage due to flooding, fire, or smoke. That can also lead to mold. You may be left with all sorts of questions. How do you get things back to normal? Service Master Restore by Schmader is here to help. Take down this number, 402-339-9911. Welcoming into the studios on Willow, this is Luke Peterson, and he is the activities director at Thomas Jefferson High School. Good to see you, sir.
You as well. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
What was it like walking in the building today?
I mean, it was great. It was, bright and early in the morning here, coming in, hearing the birds chirping and just the sunrise coming up, and
kind of pretty out there.
Little time off of work today from Christmas break, so that's nice.
Very cool, and it's been a full year already, hasn't it?
It has been. It feels like that almost any time you can ask me. It feels like a full year, but in year 4, just keep pushing ahead and doing new things and meeting new people and getting progress as we go.
Just to fill you in, I'm old generation. Probably you and I are pretty close to the same age, and I still, when I see AD, I see athletic director. Mm-hmm. But that changed at some point. I don't know when it became over activities.
I don't know when it did, but at some point, yeah. It was kind of like it used to be vice principal. It's not anymore. It's assistant principal, right? Same thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's activities director. So we're busy all the time. We have a great music program at TJ, and the band and show choir and jazz band, and you have the pep band at the basketball games, and trying to get everybody together. Even with drama and with speech, they've got big contests coming up. So, yeah, my schedule's a little full, but I love it because it's about the kids and being involved. I mean, that's what we're trying to do.
When you and I first met, one of the things that you stressed really hard was you wanted to instill a sense of pride in the students that are walking the hallways at TJ. How do you feel that's gone?
I think it's going really well. When you hear comments about, like as an example, we had to hire a new athletic trainer. And so she came in, and she had been at a school over across the river, a pretty big school, and came in, and she was there for a few weeks. And so we had a little meeting just to kind of catch up, see where she's at, see what she needed, everything else. And I asked her, how things were going. And she was really, really impressed with our kids and how courteous they were and how respectful they were. And they always said thank you for everything that she did and everything else. So I think that pride in being a jacket and being there at the school, I think, is growing, and it continues to grow. Because we get it down, I talk at the elementary schools that feed to us and at the middle schools at least once a year. So those kids now have been hearing me for 4 years coming through, and they come up and they'll do stingers up when we're walking down the street at the parade. Like, they know, and they get there, and then they see us because it's the 5 administrators, and we've all been there for that 4 years. We haven't split up at all. And which is great. It's a great team, but I think that culture, that pride culture, has really continued to grow, and we just try to keep doing things to make it grow even further.
Well, I think some of those things you do is whether it's the staff or whether it is the school board or what have you, investing back into the school.
Yeah.
You've got great facilities.
Yeah,
and that's a big part of it.
The district has done a great job in the last year for me, but for the school. We've done a ton of improvements on the TJAC building. It's all new face. Everything's just about done. One last phase will be the floor in the main gym, but the hallways when you go in are much more inviting. We've got all of our swag up, everything's there so that people see it when they come in, and then when you come into the gym, now it's all wrapped. It's nice. It's the Hive. We've continued the Hive theme throughout that building. Obviously, the WIC is an amazing facility, and that's going to continue to be. It's one of the best in the state. So yeah, I mean, the facility-wise, we're at the top of where we need to be. When we go to other schools, they come to us and they're like, "Wow, this is great." And they come in for a regional basketball game, and I get comments from other ADs and from people like how great the atmosphere was, and it's just the way it is, and we love it.
I think that is a testament to the hard work that you are doing, but also, if you have other ADs coming in and making those kind of comments, that these are the people that are looking at it from a different angle than just what the facade may look like on the front.
100%.
They're seeing all down into the very details of it, and that's where you're meeting people at.
Yeah, and let's be real. Whenever we do anything, we go and we see things. I'd love to say that I have all these great original ideas, but you're stealing ideas from people, right?
Sure. Yeah, well,
you see stuff and
doing
you learn.
it here.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you learn things, but that's how the ADs, when we go to places, it's like, oh, we could do that, or we could do something with that. And then you talk with the AD and you kind of work through it and say, how did this come about? What were the hurdles you had to jump over to get to that? And I think that I'm starting to get those questions from people, which is good because they're seeing the progress that we're making, and we're really proud of it.
I'm also hearing out in the community, I belong to business network groups and obviously the chamber and folks that graduated from TJ and grew up describe themselves as a proud West Ender. And I think that's important that people are proud of where they're from. And I don't know that was always the case, but it's good to see it now.
Yeah, and I think highlighting that relatively recently, we just hired a new football coach. Ryan Hoden, who was a graduate of TJ. He also coached there for a little while before he took a trek down to Missouri, but we introduced him in a basketball game last week. So we had the cheerleaders and the dance team make a little tunnel, and he came out. And he actually also played in the band. So when he came out, he said, let's give it up for the band. He hit all the bases. It was great. But to see the people that came just to that game, because we put a media blast out first that he was going to get introduced, people that I hadn't seen in quite some time, but came and were proud that, a West Ender came home, which was really cool. Cool to hear him tell that side of it. But people that, come in and they say, oh, I graduated here in '72 and this looks a lot different than what it did. And, well, those people, a lot of those, the TJAC wasn't even built yet. It was still the old field house. So we do a lot of tours, to be honest with you, of people that come in and just want to look around, and they'll come in the building, and we have groups that are doing their reunions, and we'll do reunion tours. And those kids, those groups now that they're, in their 50s or 60s come in to do a tour of the building, and they're just blown away. Like telling me things that I didn't know, of course, because I wasn't here, but it's cool to see, and they're happy with the progress, and they like it, and they really usually give us really good feedback about that.
Well, we're kind of right in the heart of winter sports season.
Yep.
How's everything going right now?
It's going. I mean, you've heard of the numbers problems that really across the country with girls basketball. There's been a lot of talk about numbers declining, and we've had that happen before, but our numbers are growing up. We have 3 teams now. We really only had one for a couple of years, but my new coach, who is not new anymore, he's been there 2 years, but Mike Driver has been doing a great job building up the youth. We have a Junior Jackets program going now, where my boys basketball coaches, Donnie Johnson and Richard Stockton, and then Mike Driver have built up this youth program again to get those going, and we've got more than 50 girls in that. And wrestling is going. We've got a new wrestling coach, Mike Wallace, who was also a TJ grad. It's really building momentum. The wrestling team's been having some success. Boys basketball beat Nebraska City the other day at the MAC. Played a good game. So they've been doing pretty well. We played AL the other day. AL is really good.
Yeah.
They got a tough team. Really proud of the work they've done over there. But our boys they're coming around, and we've really seen improvement and development, which is the thing I always look at. I mean, the wins and losses, they're going to come and go. But as long as we continue to see development of the players, not just on the court, but also in maturity and character and respect and being able to do that, one of the things that I base development on in the program is if we get called for unsportsmanlike or different things like that or penalties like that. And we've been doing much better than that in the last 4 or 5 years. That's really helped, I think, with that culture and with what people might think about our sports teams and our athletes as we go. Because you know how it is as far as one player goes. If somebody does something, they say, oh, well, that team is this. They kind of just broadly apply it. Kind of like DJ Metcalf just got suspended for 2 games for punching the Lions fan the other day.
Yeah.
Things like that where you don't want that to be the focus. You want your kids to grow in maturity and have that respect and have that ability to contain their emotions and do it. And that's really something that we're doing well at. And my winter coaches work their butts off. They really do. It's a season that's really tough because it's really packed in, and you've got stuff almost every day, it seems like.
Well, and plus those losses that you have, it's great if you could run the table and never lose a game. Wouldn't that just be wonderful?
Yeah,
but it's tough to learn that way.
It is.
And it's tough to grow that way.
For sure.
It's a lot harder. So if you are if you can take a loss and use it as a learning experience, and oftentimes even the coaches can learn something about themselves too, about how do we respond to this? How do we bounce back from this? And not ignoring that it happened, but settling in and saying, all right, this is where we're at right now. Here's where we want to get. This is the path to get there. That's what coaching is.
And really for me, as the AD, is there's a lot of, especially with the newer coaches when they come in, there's a lot of things that I need to help mentor them on about that, because they get frustrated. Like they want to win, they want to do whatever, but we've got to live within what we have, and we've got to be able to control the things that we can control. The things that are out of our control, a lot of times for a coach, that's the most difficult part of their job, is they start to worry about these things that they really don't have any control over, which is tough. And I get that they want to, but it's like you really just need to focus, get your kids focused. This is what you're going to do. Have them have a good experience. I mean, that's the first thing, really, because if they don't have a good experience, they're not going to come back next year, or they're not going to finish the season. You know what I mean? They have to be able to have a good experience, which doesn't always equate just to wins. It equates to having a good experience, realizing that you've developed as a person, and wanting to do it more and be with those people that you have made a team with.
And the metric of wins and losses, of course, it's great if you can measure. But from a man in your position, and the longer that you're in this position, I think the more you're going to have a chance to see it is, who are these young people turning into as adults? That's how you measure success as an activities director.
And we really see that actually quite often at TJ, and I'm sure at a lot of other schools as well. But we have the armed services come into the building all the time to recruit and do things, and so they usually set up at lunchtime. And in the commons there at TJ, they're there, and we see students that are now in that position with the Marines or with the Army or the Air Force, recruiting our own kids like they're there. And we see them, and they, I notice them like, wow, I remember that kid. And you go over, and now he's shaking your hand firm and looking you in the eye like you taught him to before. It's great. And it's really special when you see those kids, like you said, later after they've graduated, and, they get that D+1, they have that credential of whatever it is, and they've gone into a field, or you call the local HVAC guy, and he's got a kid working for him that worked with you, and he's working toward his license. And those are the things that really ring true for you when you know it, because you're building great human beings.
Last time we spoke, you were just a few episodes into a podcast.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going well. We took a little time off in the summer, and I was telling you before, we had people asking us, like, are you still doing it? So that was nice. We've, on our metrics on some of the things, it's amazing to me, but there's like 29 countries represented that have tuned in, which, I don't know how they found it or wherever, but, we're kind of podcasts. You can find them anywhere. But our topics range with a lot of stuff, but it's a really fun group of guys, the three of us, and we talk about kind of whatever just comes up, and we chat about it, and sometimes we'll record and it goes on for a while and we split it into a couple, which is a good thing, but we get good conversations going. But I think it's growing and building, and we want to grow it a little more, as time goes. So I know we've talked about video a little bit, and so there's some things that we're discussing and trying to move forward. So,
well, there's value to it. There's, I'd spoken to you before about this, that when I first started doing podcasting, I didn't see it. I thought, well, video's a waste of time. Who's going to watch something if they can just listen?
Yeah.
Wow, was I wrong?
Yeah.
And because they can do both. Some people will watch. I've got people that pull this up on YouTube and just listen as they're getting ready. They're not even watching, but they are listening.
Yeah. And I think for me, I mean, my time, as you know, is pretty limited to be able to generally watch something, but there's a lot of other people that can. But for me, a lot of times I wind up listening to podcasts when I'm driving, because, I'm driving to Sioux City, or I'm driving to Des Moines, and I'll do it in that regard, and that helps pass that time really nicely, and you might learn something along the way, which is always a plus. But I can see where the video thing is picking up, My dad always said I had a face for radio, though, so I don't know how that's going to work.
No,
we'll see.
Well, I've got clients that say that about me, so thanks, Travis. Appreciate you, man. But I'm excited about everything that you have continued to grow at TJ. We're seeing the results. We're seeing, as I said, we're seeing the pride in the hallways, and that has to fill your spirit.
And really, our goal for the district is that 100% of our kids are involved in at least one thing outside of the school day. And when I got there, it was hovering around 60%, somewhere around there. We're up to about 75% now. Yeah. So we're continuing that growth, and what we're doing is really, again, instilling it. Like, we just had 8th grade visits last week. So we had 2 different days where the 8th graders from Wilson came up in 2 separate groups, and that's one of the big things, is like, we've got so many things for you to be involved in outside of the day, and it's with your friends. You're going to have a good time. I mean, there's all these things, so you start to really identify those, and they can see them on the tour. And we had video screens in the hallways as they took their tour of activities and things going up, and you see the pictures that we put up online, and there's always stuff up on our TVs in the commons of kids involved in things. We'll just take pictures, and then they just all day just rotate through the building, and so kids seeing themselves on there is nice. They like that. But with our posters, I mean, everything that we do, we really try to highlight the kids and what they're involved in, and doing something that's going to build the whole person. That's what we look for.
Well, and before we wrap things up today here, jumping back to the football coach, what kind of feedback are you hearing from the kids that are going to be playing next year?
Super positive. He put some things out in our huddle feed, for the players to see what he's done. So most recently he's been at Westview, which is out west Omaha. And they were district champs, and he put out a lot of his plays, a lot of the things that he does, the kind of offense that he runs, the kind of defensive stuff he's done. Super positive, but just a really good, I think, person in general. But to talk with kids, to talk with parents, I'm super excited. I think the kids are excited. I think that the community is excited about it to see, because they obviously want him to succeed as well, because he's from the West End, and so they want to see that, and they really are embracing that. So we've heard a lot of really positive things, which we're happy about. We went through that process. It was actually nice. We had 16 applicants for it, which was good. Wow. And we had some really quality ones from kind of around the state. Like, we had a really good cross section of people. So it was really nice to be able to share our thing, but again, to hear from them and hear what they had heard about the program and the direction that we've been going. So super exciting. We're looking forward to it, and he's working hard already. So.
Well, as the sun's coming up over the horizon and we're starting to illuminate your face a little bit, we're gonna wrap things up here. But thank you so much, Luke Peterson, Activities Director at TJ High School in Council Bluffs. If I can help in any way, spreading information, anything that I can do from here, you know how to reach me. Please,
100%.
Let me know.
Well, I appreciate it.
I'd be happy to do it.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, and have a great holiday.
Right here in the studios on Willow, this is all part of the park building, and after a 2-year renovation, this true downtown Council Bluffs landmark is open once again. The park building is fully refreshed. New finishes, updated HVAC, modern amenities. and keeps the historic charm that makes this building special. Office spaces are now available, from a single one-room office starting at just $450 per month to full floor suites at $15 per square foot. Tenants will enjoy shared conference space on the third floor, guest Wi-Fi, flexible 12-month leases, and a location that puts you in the heart of Council Bluffs. The Park Building is open and ready for your business. Morning Coffee brought to you by Keith Jones, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Council Bluffs. Learn how he can help you reach your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com for more. Edward Jones, member SIPC. And this holiday season, let Bloomworks Floral light up your home with festive joy. Nestled in the heart of Council Bluffs on the historic 100 block, Bloomworks crafts gorgeous bouquets, wreaths, and centerpieces perfect for Christmas gatherings, gifts under the tree, or adding a little holiday magic to your space. Order online at ebloomworks.com for easy delivery to the Council Bluffs, Omaha metro area. From the Bloomworks family to yours, Merry Christmas. May your season bloom bright. Thanks again, Luke Peterson, Activities Director at Council Bluffs Thomas Jefferson, for joining us on today's show. And thank you for helping me celebrate this Christmas. A reminder and a programming note, we will not have a show tomorrow on Christmas Day, but will be back on Friday, December 26th, with another episode. So until then, my name's Todd Studer. Merry Christmas.